Alrighty, let me get my camera up. There we go. All right, hello SSL. It's Rich, also known as Charlie Chambers, playing for presumably. Actually, I think it's on my Cairo. There we go. I actually hadn't been told specifically if I was going to be in Cairo or in. I mean, that was my expectation, but hadn't heard anything. But I guess this is that. We'll say that makes it official. So, and also position. I don't know what position I'm going to be playing yet. But like natural position of central defender. Anyway, so we're going to talk about player build a little bit. I think I've already in past podcasts talked about my intentions for my player, but we're going to go over that again. And then we're going to talk about kind of like immediate plans for my next attributes to update. Uh, don't really have much TPE to spend at the moment. I spent a bunch, I don't know, a few days ago. Um, but we're going to talk about what my plan is, I guess. It's a kind of short term plan. It's not really long term, but short term. So I guess real quick, we'll just jump into my kind of um, initial intentions for my player build, which kind of works with like the sort of story I'm working with, which is that of like a player that's like really physically talented, is relatively hasn't been playing soccer at like a high level um, for very long, so he's like relied heavily upon his physical talents, and as a result is maybe not the most competent player. Um, but he's going to be very physically capable. Uh, and then those like I'll kind of like trickle in physical over time since they're a little more expensive. Try to keep them up, and then kind of longer term we'll start working on. I'm going to do probably mental earlier, and then technical will probably come later. We've already got a few things in technical up, but that was more out of like trying to make sure my player isn't completely terrible. So like I said, early on, I'm gonna keep going physicals. Although like I said, it's expensive, so that's gonna be like one into like a physical attribute, and then a couple, here or there, mental, technical kind of thing. Let's actually take a look at what I did most recently. Update history. Here we go. So this is kind of like the 19th through the 22nd. Yeah, I got my aggression, got his aggression up to 10, bravery up to 10 as well, determination, leadership, and work rate. I don't actually know if work rate is good for a central defender or not, but I feel like having it at 5 is probably not ideal. So I wanted to get some in there. I kind of want to, I think, take it to 10 and then maybe chill out, and then I start maybe like asking around, like, hey, should I be putting points into work rate or not? Um, but for the time being, I wanted some like things that I want for my player to be at 10, so they're like passable, you know. Um, I do. Well, no, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Then, like I said, when I was kind of like slowly putting things into the physicals, bumped strength to 16. I do want him to be like, that's one of the more important things. I want him to be a strong fella. Um, and then balance, I bumped that up, like I said, to 10. I'm not actually sure how good that is. But again, being at 5 feels not good. So I didn't, and going to 5 to 10 isn't like some huge investment. So, let's see. And then I got heading up a little bit more because again, that's one of the things with him being like physically capable and a central defender. I feel like heading is going to be kind of one of the things he's going to be doing a lot of in terms of like defense. And then, as we saw in the academy season, being brought up for the set pieces, corner kicks, and doing quite well there. So I wanted to get his heading up a little bit, and then that'll probably sit for a while. The heading at 15, that feels pretty good for the moment. Um, let's see what else was there. We already went to work rate, strength. Leadership's one that I'm not real sure about, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's probably good to have a little bit. I gotta imagine you want somebody on the field with, maybe a handful of players on the field with leadership to. I mean, I don't know. Does it say anything? How inspirational and motivational your player is? So maybe it. I don't know. I don't know what it does, but feels like you want some people to have a little bit of it, and maybe longer term, I'll want my player to kind of fill a more of a leadership role, and that's something we can work towards. Um, Determination. Why did I bump that? I remember reading the description. Willingness of a player to try and perform even when your team is losing. Yes, that's yeah. I want my player to play well regardless because I don't know if we're going to be Kairo's going to be good or not. I have no idea. But if we're not good, I don't want my player to suffer for that. I would like him to continue to try to perform. So I figured a little bit of determination is good. Um, Bravery I did because I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with aggression to an extent. Um, yeah, and also as a central defender, I feel like you're already kind of in that position to like if you're I don't know, it feels like if you have low bravery, you're not in the right. You shouldn't be a central defender. Um, so that feels like a good one. So intentions for the future, we already talked a little bit about the physical. Oh yeah, like trickling physicals to keep them kind of like my focus, but then um, getting some of these mental in particular. Although mentals are probably in an okay spot. Um, Visions probably would be good, just so my player's passing because he's going to have to pass from time to time. So that's probably helpful. That might be the next one where I try to get that up to 10, so it's in a decent spot. Um, and then so once we got our mentals kind of in a good spot where I'm seeing a lot of like tens, um, then we'll probably start going more technical and looking at that. Although I don't know what we're gonna do here. Passing maybe. I don't know. There's maybe not a ton in technical I need to do. So maybe it's not going to be so much in technical. I don't know. We'll see. But immediate. Let's talk about the very, very immediate. The very next thing I think I want to do. Acceleration 15. I'm happy with. I might try to go pace 15 next for my next big like physical 12 TB. That's not like a huge amount, but that'll put it even with acceleration. And I do want my acceleration, I think, to generally be higher than my pace for now until I start getting higher up. I feel like um, as a central defender, short distance, like getting to full speed is very valuable. Um, whereas my top end doesn't maybe not necessarily need to be quite as high. It feels like acceleration makes more sense because I want to have that, like I said, quick or short distance speed. So yeah, my next I'll probably save until I don't know. I mean, I say save, but it'll probably be like sometime next week. I'll get a bump. That'll give me enough to go pace 15, and then after that, I think the next thing I want to do is more aggression. Um, I kind of want my player to start playing in a way that will maybe take advantage of the higher strength. And I feel like aggression is a good way to do that. And then to couple with aggression, I think my tackling's already 13, but it still feels like that's another one that I should get up, especially if it prevents without incurring a penalty. So like I feel like higher tackling equals fewer penalties, therefore high tackling feels pretty good. So I think that's my like a very immediate plan. Pace 15, aggression to let's say probably what's the next break point? 13, and that's 6 per. That's kind of a lot, but I think that's where I would shoot for. That's going to be the next the break up to 12 TP is going to be 13 aggression, um, and then God, I don't know what tackling. What's the break point for 16? Well, I'm not going to go to 16 tackling, but I'd like to get tackling to 15. I think um, if I'm going to get my aggression up. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Um, but I also don't know what I'm doing. So maybe it's maybe I'm, but I've got the whole reroll and what else? What's the other thing? I can cancel out of here. Redistribution. So um, so I've got those two available yet. So if I make any really bad decisions, um, I've got that. So that's cool. All right, that I guess will do it. I think we're at the old 10-minute mark. Cool. Yep. I think I had the calendar up here. Preseason. I don't know what preseason looks like here in the SSL. So, but we got that on Tuesday and Wednesday. Um, and then my first minors match day number one is going to be Saturday. So that's cool. That'll be fun. But we will catch you next week. I'm still trying to hopefully get Omniscious around here. And then also, if anybody else listens to this and is interested, I would love to have somebody come on so I can chat with them. Just shoot me a DM on the forums or on Discord. Or if you check my signature on the SSL forums, there's a link to a little form you can fill out, and I will get in touch with you and we'll work something out. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you later.